Hi, this is Dave and welcome to the Table, a series of videos where I review and discuss various board and card games, looking at them from a family perspective. Today we're going to be taking a look at Quao from Wiggity Bang. Now this is a 3 to 5 player card game of the ultimate dictatorship. Now in this game, each round one person will take on the rule of Quao, who is the evil bovine ruler who has secret rules that none of the other players know about except for Quao. Now you will attempt to get rid of your hand of cards in an attempt to become the next Quao for the following rounds. At the end of the 4th round, whoever wins that becomes the ultimate dictator. Let's take a look at this game and how it's played, and I'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, let's take a look at the components that come in Quao, and we have a rule sheet here and 2 types of cards that are here. We've got a big stack of these white cards here. These are the Quao cards that have a bunch of different things going on and a bunch of different card types here. And we also have this other deck here, which is the Quao Dictator deck, and it says right on the top here, this deck contains the secret Quao rules. Do not read these rules. You'll spoil the fun. Read the directions first. So don't go looking through this deck when you get the game. Also on the back has a little bit of information here, the website for the game, as well as the ability to download 10 additional Quao rule cards, and you can print out your own Quao crown like this right here that says, "I am the Quao for now." So you can use this to wear when you are the Quao, and this can be passed around during the game. Let me get this set up and I'll show you how to play. Okay, I have this game set up for 4 players. What I did was I shuffled up both decks of cards here, and I dealt 5 Quao cards to each player, and then one player was selected to be the Quao for the first round, basically the dictator, and so they will draw one of these Quao rule cards. What they will do is they will read it and place it face down in front of them. And now, this is the only card from this deck that I will reveal for this video because I don't want to ruin the fun, but essentially what's going to happen is they will in turn look at the card here, which this says the Quao rule is no player may burp, sneeze, or cough without saying "excuse me." And if they do, you will say "excuse you, draw a card." So you are the only one who knows what this rule is. None of the other players do. And eventually they're going to have to find out what that particular rule is, or else they are going to end up drawing cards. Now the object of this game is to get rid of your cards in your hand, and that will signify the end of the round, and the first person to get rid of the cards in their hand will become the Quao for the next round. And then what will happen is they will take this rule and they will draw another one, so now there will be 2 rules in play. And this is going to go around for 4 rounds, and whoever empties their hand out on the 4th round will be the ultimate dictator and will win the game. Now, we talked about these cards here. Let me talk quickly about the Quao cards themselves, and there are 5 different suits that make up this particular deck, and I want to talk about each of the card types right now. So in my hand right here, I have the different card types that make up this game. We have quack cards. Now the quack cards here, they have a little duck face on there, and typically this is going to be something that is somewhat entertaining, so you're going to have to perform some sort of action, and typically whoever is the winner will not have to do anything, and if somebody loses, they'll have to draw a card. For example, here, this one says have a staring contest with the person to your right. The loser draws a card. We have these jackass cards here, which is typically going to be something that is going to cause some embarrassment, or you're going to be revealing things about yourself that people may or may not know. So typically they are set up to have people laughing at you. So that's the jackass card. Next we have this Joker card. Now I talked about the Quao enforcing her rules, and it's also her job to enforce any other rules that may come up in play, which I'll get to some of the other cards in a second here. But if you have a Joker in your hand, if she tells you to draw a card, you can discard this to avoid drawing a card. Next we have this Cheetah card. Now this sometimes will override some of the Quao rules, and so the cheetah is not really a friend of the Quao, but what you can do here is you can implement a new rule for that particular round. And finally we have these bully cue cards here, and these you will read these aloud and you will play them in front of another player, and so they will have to abide by this particular rule. So for this one here, at the start of your turn, say, I just stepped in, and you have to fill in the blank. Now, if you don't do this and the cow notices it, they will be able to call you out, say, you didn't follow that bully cue card, draw a card. So you have to pay attention to a lot of things that are going on in this game. So now that I've explained the types of cards and what they do, and typically what this rule is, you will select a start player here, will be this player here, and they will draw their cards, and they will look at them, what they have, and they will play a card. And for example here, this one says, Quack says, finish this line. I suppose I'd have to play cow. So just play this card, and I discard it here. Now, the next player here will go through, and they will play a card here. Maybe, for example, here it says, before you say anything, you must clap your hands twice. I'm going to play this bully cue card on this player over here. So now it's in front of them. So now, when it goes to be this player's turn, the first thing they have to do is, now they would be able to play a card and say, okay, I'm going to take this one, this bully cue here, tell a joke punchline at the beginning of your turn, and I'm going to play it, the card next to them. Now they're going to play the cards, and they're going to say, oh, I'm going to play one of these. This Quack card here said, say where's the bathroom in any foreign language, and I say donde está el baño, and I try to discard this card. Now the cow says, yes, you didn't tell a punchline before starting your turn, draw a card. So they would in turn have to draw a card. And this is going to go on around again until the first player to get rid of their hand of cards, they will become the cow for the next round. And again, they will draw another card here. They will read it. Now there are going to be 2 rules in force. And this is going to continue on for the third round. There'll be 3 rules, and then finally, the final round, there'll be 4 cow rules, plus all the other cards that are in there. So you really have to pay attention to what's going on in this game. And this is cow. Okay, let's talk about cow here. And this is an interesting card game. You have the 5 different card types that make up the game themselves, that have all sorts of elements from making you laugh, embarrassing yourself, playing a little bit of take that with the bully cue cards, changing the rules for one particular round with the cheetah cards, and being able to defy the cow by using the joker card and saying, I do not have to draw a card, Miss Cow. So those types of cards make the game interesting, but the thing that really makes this game stick out is the fact that you have one person who's playing the rule of cow, and they have a secret hidden rule in front of them that nobody else knows. And if they break that particular rule, you have a particular line that you say to them, and you tell them to draw a card. So it's going to take a little bit of time for some of the other players to figure out what the rule is. In the meantime, they are filling up their hand with cards, and you're able to get rid of the cards in your hand. So the game may seem slightly unbalanced, but there are other cards that can be played even on the cow to make them to even it out some. Now, the game, as you play over the course of 4 rounds, there are going to be increasing number of cow rules that will come into play. So at the final round, there's going to be 4 essentially unknown rules that all the players are going to have to abide by. So that's 4 things that you're going to have to remember. And on top of that, you're going to have these bully cue cards coming around that may be played on you that is going to have to make you use your brain when you play this game. So this is a little bit of a mind bender, but it's also fun because some of the things that you have to do are quite entertaining, and it makes for a nice public spectacle if you play them out in a restaurant, pub, or any kind of public place, your local gaming store, as well as if you are having some people over. This is a good game to play and see how much you can embarrass your friends. So you have those particular elements that come with Quao. Now, let me look at this game from a family perspective here. Now, this game, there are a lot of rules that are going on in this particular game, but kids can play it, and it's going to do a couple of things. Number one, if the person is playing the Quao ruler, they may or may not be a benevolent ruler, depending on how much they pay attention to what's going on and how much they want to enforce the rules. So you are going to have to increase your ability to perceive what's going on. So this game will develop perception skills because there are going to be certain rules that are in play and you're going to have to remember what they are. And if anybody else breaks the rules, you can call them out on it. So you're going to, you definitely will increase perception skills with this game. Also, you're going to have to, as a player, be able to recall all this information about all of the rules. So you're going to have to pay attention during this game. So you're not going to be able to just sit back and go, oh, I'll play this card, I'll play this card. You have to pay attention to what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to get bit by the rules. Okay, so you're going to develop some thinking skills, and paying some attention to detail is going to be developed with this, as well as perception skills on both sides, but more so with the player who's playing the Quao ruler. Now, over the course of the game, it may seem a little bit unbalanced. I think I said that before, but there are certain cards that will even themselves out. So if a person can quickly get through their hand of cards, it may be multiple turns that they may be able to be the Quao, yet the first player to get rid of their hand of cards in the fourth round essentially wins the game. So don't get too upset if you find that some other player keeps being the Quao, because maybe in the last round you can get rid of your cards and that's all that really matters. Now, one thing about playing this game in groups, if you play it mixed with kind of kids, and I would say that this game you really need to be like 12 and up to play this game. If you play it mixed with kids and adults, it is going to seem a little bit it's going to be off, because a grown adult is much more developed mentally to be able to perceive and pay attention to everything that's going on, and so they could really kind of stick it to the kids. So this game is better suited playing with groups of kids together playing this, like they could play this at school at lunchtime or something like that, or a group of adults getting together and playing it together. Now, you can play this as a family unit, but you really want to make sure that you are not an overbearing ruler and making all the kids draw the cards if they miss something, because it will make the game not fun. So overall, I like this game. It's not something that I would play all the time, but it's certainly something that if I want to drive everybody crazy, I'm going to bring it out, because you can get a lot of laughs going on with this, especially when you start having to clap your hands before you talk to somebody, or having to do the different things. And it's quite funny because you'll have people walking by going, what the heck are you doing? So it's definitely good as a game that you can make a public spectacle of yourselves while having fun. So if you would like to take on the role of the evil bovine leader and be the Quao in your family and exert your dictatorship on them, pick yourself up a copy of this game. It's from Wiggity Bang. And I will have the link in the video description below, and pick yourself up a copy. All right, that's it for now. Join me again next time as we take a look at another game and we see how it makes it to the table.